Hi everyone, my name is Leanne. Welcome to my art channel here on YouTube. I am leanneland art, and today I have this drawing to share with you that I created, this illustration. This is of a Korok, and so these little guys are running rampant in the new Legend of Zelda game, The Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild. There's no the. And this is on the Nintendo Switch. So I just got a Nintendo Switch, and this is the third game that I've gotten for it. No, the first game actually. This was my first. I have 3 games now. And so there are, I think, 800 or 900 of these little Koroks running around The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and you have to find them. They're hidden, and there's little clues to lead you to these little Koroks. And so there's a very bunch of them. They all kind of look similar, but they don't look the same. And so I found a few in the game, and I've been screenshotting inside my Switch game. There's a little button on the controller you can take screenshots, and it's super easy. I love it. So I wanted to draw one. I found a picture that I liked, a reference shot, and so this is the little guy here. So I sketched him out on some mixed media paper. This is 6x8 and it's made by Strathmore. I love mixed media paper because obviously it's made for different mediums, and it just holds vibrancy of color really well. So that's what I like to color on. So I sketched him out with pencil, and then I'm coming in and inking the outline with a Micron black pen. These are really awesome pens because the black ink is really rich and dark, and it's waterproof and light fast and all that good stuff. So it's a premium artist quality. And so with the design style, I was trying to emulate a little bit of Wind Waker. If you've ever looked at Legend of Zelda, the art style is a little more cartoony. There's hard edges, rough lines, and more organic looking. So the Koroks don't look this rough around the edges, I guess, but I really like that art style. So I was kind of going for that with a mix or a blend of my art style as well. So this is my favorite part of drawing, is coloring in and doing inking. I love inking. I don't know what it is about inking, but I love it. To borrow the words of my niece, it's just satisfying. And it's kind of funny. That must be a trendy word right now because I hear her say it in that context, and it's just kind of funny. And I heard it on a commercial the other day, and I'm like, yes, I'm getting older because people are using words that are trendy, I'm sure, and I'm not in the loop on that. Anyways, inking is satisfying for me. It's just gratification. It's so like nice because I can let my mind go and I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I just have to follow the lines and let my art kind of go where it does. So this part I really enjoy, and I probably spend more time on it than I should. But I have a lot of fun. I love inking. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. I love it. Yeah. So anyways, is anyone else playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? I don't know why I keep saying the full title. I just don't say Breath of the Wild. But is anyone playing that game? And how far are you in that game? I have gotten 1 Divine Beast, and I need 2 more hearts to pull the sword. What is it called? The mighty sword? I don't know what it's called. The Master Sword. It's the Master Sword. Okay, this is crazy. I'm really tired tonight because I worked all day and I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I wanted to get this video up because I am so excited to share this art piece, because when I was drawing this, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. I knew that I could draw the Korok, and then I wasn't sure about the background, and I kind of went away from it for a few days, and I thought about it. I had sketched out my Korok like this, and then I had come in and colored him in green. Just to interject here, what I'm doing is just erasing the pencil lines after the Micron pen has dried. If you don't wait for it to dry and give it a lot of good time, then it will smudge and make a mess. So you have to make sure it's good and dry. But then I'm just lightly erasing my pencil lines, and I love to use these white Mars Staedtler erasers. They are just awesome. I've used them since I was in school, like grade school, and they always take pencil off the best. There are a few erasers made by Faber-Castell. There's one that picks up eraser shavings, and it's at my local art store, but I haven't picked it up yet. I am going to go and get it the next time I take a trip there. But yeah, so going back to my drawing concept, I knew that I was going to get the Korok okay, and I could do him. And the background I really struggled with. I was going to do the background like in the screenshot I had taken from the game, but he was a Korok standing in front of a cream-colored brick wall or rock wall, and it was really boring. And so I was going to do that, and then I thought, you know what, I'm an artist. I gotta do something artistic and creative, and this is the power of being an artist, is you can shape the picture to something that looks better and something that you prefer, instead of just drawing everything the way you see it. It doesn't have to be true to life, and that's what makes it better or unique or fun, is that you do something creative with it. So I did walk away from this for a good week, I think, and I kept it on my desk, and I'd come in my art room and I'd look at it and I'd think and think and think, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, 100 ideas would run through my head, but nothing really clicked. I eventually ended up settling on the sunset background. I wanted to do a twilight background, and so my thought on that was that it kind of was a tie-in to the other Zelda game, Twilight Princess, and there's a lot of periods of time in that game where the twilight sets in and the mood gets darker and it gets more intense in the game, and you're getting more involved at that point. You know, you've hit, I think, the halfway point it is, and then it feels like it's all just kind of, you're getting in the thick of it. And so I liked that sort of symbolism, bringing that game into this. And then I also have Wind Waker in this one as well because of the art style. So that was my choice, and I'm so happy that I picked that because it actually turned out okay. I'm really happy with it. So the other thing about the Koroks, if you've played or if you haven't, they are hidden, like I said, so you have to find them. And there's little clues and little items around the land or the world that you kind of pick up on, and you can release them and find them. One of the things is these little light dust marks that come up out of the ground. And so when you see one, you know that there's a Korok nearby. And so it's kind of glittery and pretty. So in the end of the drawing, you'll notice at the very end is my finishing touch. I put in these little light crystals or dust reflections. And so I thought that that was just a kind of nice way to finish it off and polish it off. And when I started thinking about the background, I immediately knew that I wanted to add that detail in, and I was just so excited to do it. I couldn't wait to get to the end part to do it. So anyways, for this guy here, drawing his face, I really kept true to the image that I had as a reference. And so creating the shapes of the little green patches on his leaf face really helps to visually describe the texture and where it dents in and dents out, puffs out, the shape and the contours, I guess, of his face. So I really wanted to keep this in flat colors and solid blocks of color, just like Wind Waker style. So that's what I was going for with this. And so I thought it turned out really cute. I also drew this, did my coloring in with Copic Markers, and so they work really nicely with the mixed media paper as well. So I'm just thinking about Zelda games. Does anyone have a Switch, or are you planning on getting one? I'm actually really excited for Splatoon to come out. That's the main reason I bought my Switch, is I picked up Splatoon a year ago, September, so it had been out for like 5 or 6 months at that point. And I have almost 1,000 hours in the game already. I looked yesterday and I'm at 950 hours. So I'm really close to that 1,000 hour threshold, and I don't think I've played a game like that in my life. And so that's the reason I picked up my Switch, but I do love Zelda as well. And so of the Zelda games, I have played Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and I've played Four Swords. And does anyone remember Link's crossbow training? It was a game and it was under $20. You got it, I think Walmart might have been exclusive to Walmart. It was on the Wii. And you got a gun with it, like a scope gun or something. And so it was kind of like a bundle. If you bought this $20 Zelda crossbow training game, then you got this little scope gun with it. And so that's when I played, and I loved that version. That game was actually really fun. But not a lot of people talk about it. I don't know if many people remember it. And then I also have the Triforce Heroes game that came out on the DS. And I played that, and A Link Between Worlds, which is probably my favorite Zelda game. I have the commemorative 3DS that came out, and it's gold, and it came pre-packaged with that game. And so I got that for Christmas one year, and that is probably my favorite Zelda game. I just love the cartoony style, and it's just really, really flawlessly put together. It's just the mechanics of the game, the movement, the animations and stuff, it's all really tightly done. It's just awesome. That game is so much fun. I'm not so much of a fan of the realism style. I know there's sort of two sides to Zelda games. You either have the super cartoony or the super realistic. And so I'm not as much of a fan of the realistic. I don't mind the new Zelda game. I think it's actually just the mechanics of the game and being an open world and having 100 ways to do one obstacle is just incredible. Like, who would have thought that a video game could get to that advancement? And yeah, but I don't mind it. It's not super realistic. It is, but it isn't. But those are definitely my favorite. And of the Zelda games, I have beaten Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, which people say is the hardest, or one of the hardest, and people hate that game. But when I was a kid, we had a Nintendo Entertainment System, an NES, and so I asked for that game for Christmas when I was super young. I was really, really young. And it came in a gold cartridge, and I remember that my sister and I would play it, and we didn't understand that Zelda is based on clues, and so we would just kind of run around to the villages that we could reach and talk to the people and jump on their heads and jump on the roofs of the houses, and we didn't really know what to do, so we did not play that game. And it wasn't until like 20 some years later, like as an adult, that I went, okay, I'm gonna beat this game. I played it my whole life as a child. I did not understand it, and now I do. And so I had like another version on my 3DS, and so I beat it. Oh my god, it was so hard. It was so hard. The end is so hard. But yes, I beat that game, and so I'm super happy, and I will never probably beat it again because it's really difficult. But that's just a favorite because I remember it from my childhood. So if you guys play Zelda and you love Zelda, which I'm assuming you do because you're here seeing my drawing, let me know in the comments what your favorite Zelda game is. I know a lot of people like Ocarina of Time, which I've played, but I haven't beat. And so I've beat Four Swords, which is kind of cheating, I guess. It's kind of a piddly game. It's not a hard game. And then I've beat Zelda 2, and I've beat the Link's crossbow training. And I'm almost through A Link Between Worlds. I honestly have one more picture to unlock, but I kind of am holding off doing it because I love that game and I'm kind of savoring it. I'm doing it slowly. Like really slowly. Like probably 3 years slowly. I don't know, I should probably finish it. But yeah, so I'm almost done my art here. I'm just doing my blended background. So the thing about this illustration is my background is gradiated, whereas the art style of Wind Waker is all color blocks. But I kind of like the way the contrast came in, so he really stands out in his style versus the background and the rock that are kind of like a gradiated blend. And so you'll see that I thought in a lot of Disney cartoons too, they'll have like a muted background and then the characters will be really bright, and that helps them stand out in the foreground. So that's sort of the idea with this as well. So I kind of just came up with the rock. I thought, oh, I'm going to have him standing on a rock, but I want to add in that beautiful background instead of just doing that boring rock wall that I talked about earlier. So now I'm adding the little dust or light specks that kind of swirl out of the ground behind him and around him. And I'm using Jelly Roll pens for this. And I have like all these Jelly Roll pens, and they have little lightning or shooting star icons on the lid. I think it's like a certain type, but they're all glittery and pearly looking, and they're really pretty. They look so nice on this gradiated background. So I pulled some of the colors that matched the colors in my sky, and then I also pulled a white and a gold, and just doing little dots, just swirling around behind him, behind the rock, and doing different thicknesses of dots too. So I have mostly big dots and then some little speckles. And the variance helps add a little bit of creative interest too. I love, love, love the way this turned out. And I'm almost at the point where it turned out good, and now I'm kind of scared to draw something else because I'm afraid it's gonna not be as good. I guess every artist goes through that. But these guys are so cute. This game is awesome, and I love these little Koroks. I always want to call them Korok seeds because that's actually what you collect from them. They give you a Korok seed when you find them in the game. And so I always call this my Korok seed, but really it's just a Korok. That's like their ethnicity. And there are these quirky little short tree people who live deep in the forest. So here you can see the dots that I put on, the speckles, and a little bit of that shimmer under the light. They're really luminescent and vibrant. They're so pretty. So now I'm done. I'm going to sign my illustration. And this is complete. I'm so excited with this. So here's a final look at my art and how it looks. I hope you guys enjoyed this art video. I know it's been a while since I posted, but I am planning on putting a few more up. I have some coming soon. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe so you're notified as I post more videos. Thanks for watching.